Welcome, dear friends near and far. So, what makes this an interesting and important conversation today for me is how to bring wellness and Baha'i faith more closely together. Because when I do wellness talks, it's more about lifestyle and practices that are very relevant and very powerful. And when I talk about Baha'i, it's about spiritual principles and practices that are very powerful. So here we are bringing them together. And the matrix I've been working with is called integrative wellness. So the idea of integrative is blending. It's not or, but and. There's medical and natural. There's old, there's new. There's traditional wisdom from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, from indigenous people, South America, North America, and all that. And to me, it all integrates. And it led me to write a book with Chris's beautiful photography called Nourishing Wisdom to activate well-being. I wanted to write some of this down and capture pieces of information that I find meaningful and bring them together. That's the key, bring them together. The first is, what is the alchemy of changing illness to wellness? That's the first conversation. It's very interesting. And then how do we integrate different ideas? Because people are confused. Oh, my doctor told me this, and my massage therapist told me that, and my intuitive told me that, and scripture told me something else. Well, people need the independent investigation of truth and reflection to make wise decisions. So how do they integrate? And then again, what's it look like to heal? For me, I've spent the better part of 50 years studying how people get sick and how people heal. Medicine is pretty good at identifying what illness looks like, diagnosing, treating, assessing, and they're life-saving. So this is integrating medicine with the healing arts is the work I do. What does alchemy mean to you? What's the idea of alchemy? It's not an event, it's a process. So anyone here live or anyone online, what does alchemy conjure up to you? Alchemy is mixing chemicals in the laboratory. That's good. So how does one turn lead into gold? Right? And alchemy has this biochemical composition, and it also has a philosophical meaning, and it also has a metaphysical meaning. So I'm really looking today at physical and metaphysical, spiritual and material in the same conversation for practical application. Because here we are, we're living in the world. Would we say the world's a bit sick? We could say that. Could we say there's war and famine and conflict? Yeah, we could we could say that. So obviously we know peace begins within. Here we are, we're in a peaceful mode, we're together. We have purpose here. Alchemy is transformation. See, we're all in this process of becoming, of learning, of growing. So really on a very concrete level, it's alchemy is transformation and transmutation. What would be characteristics of illness? What are 3 or 4 states that are ill? Not just the names of illnesses, but what it feels like to be ill. Fatigue, very common. I mean, that's universal. Good. What else? Weakness. What else? Pain? Yes. So we got fatigue, weakness, and it's very good because these are not diseases, these are conditions. These are states of being. I would also say now depression, anxiety, worry, obsessive, it's really a part of being ill. And then the illness over time, if it is not resolved, it becomes arthritis, it becomes gastritis, it becomes an inflammatory condition, it becomes a system failure, cardiovascular, immune, all those things. So the medical doctors who are doing their best are looking at dealing with disease states and looking at slowing the disease process, which is important. And my work has been to work with doctors. They go, I'm your friend. I am a nutritionist. I understand natural health. We can do this together. I'm not taking away your business. There'll be plenty of business for sick people because there's so much of it. The alchemical process goes through 3 or 4 steps. Okay? So let's say illness is lead. Let's say cancer is lead. Let's say diabetes is lead. And it's leaden. It's heavy. It's exhausting. It's debilitating. I mean, anything you want to say, when somebody says you've got illness, it weakens your self-concept. What would be a step towards wellness? Turning your attention towards wellness rather than focusing solely on illness and illness outcomes and illness treatments and illness difficulties. Prayer is the most important. Prayer is very powerful, and we can recognize that. And we'll talk about that quite a bit. What's another hope? Where are you going to get hope from? Okay, so we're in the Baha'i Center of San Francisco. We have faith, and we have hope, and we have community, and we have guidance. That's really helpful, and that's what I'm looking to integrate is Baha'i guidance into medical wellness, integrative wellness recovery practice. I have a dear friend who's got a chronic digestive problem. He said, Ed, what should I pay you? I mean, you're my friend, you're really smart, I didn't want to bother you with my friendship. I go, you can pay me as much as you can when you're well. I don't capitalize on illness. I want to prove the point that you, me, us, anyone can become more well. So the steps we've identified are, I'm ill and I don't like it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Number 2, I want to learn how to get healthy. I don't know enough. We have kids, they don't know enough. They're in the culture of unhealth, the culture of bad food, the culture of overuse of social media, the culture of synthetic, artificial lifestyle. I like natural, organic, community-based living. I'm a tribal person living in a very modern, progressive, accelerating world. So I want to be part of that world, but hold on to the natural. Bring the natural in. So the idea then is get a guide, get a mentor who cares about you. Don't read a book. Don't go Dr. Google. I mean, you can do all that stuff. But what you're finding are products and programs that people are selling with a lot of hoopla, but not enough depth of understanding or relationship. You need relationship. We know that. Most of us don't have solid, strong, knowledgeable, dependable relationship, friendship. So we can do that for each other. That's what we're doing here. But the step of really transmutation is bringing lifestyle practice to the fore. And my wellness model is based on eating for health, joyful movement. Not just exercise, joyful movement, dancing, singing, just being alive in the body, owning the body, not hating the body. And then mindfulness, which is being quiet, being present, and also being part of the universe and not being self-identified. The key to healing, big key to healing is not being self-identified. The Buddhists say there's no self. Well, okay, we're a vehicle, we're in the world, we're dealing with all the difficulties of the world. But when we become too self-identified, we lose ground. So in a mindful state, we're just here together, we're noticing what's going on, we're non-judgmental, and we're really open to the greater community of conscious beings doing conscious things. So I look at the news cycle, it's unconscious people doing harmful, hurtful, horrible things, And I go, that's not my world. That's not my community. I understand what's going on. I want to bring peace, love, harmony, wellness, faith, practice to all beings in this moment right now. So the healing moment, the transmutation, is when we get to that moment alone or especially with others, especially sitting in circle, especially in family, when we go, I'm here, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm sound, I'm loved, I'm growing, I'm healing, and I'm looking at the light. That's the transmutation. Then doing it every day, taking a time out when we need a time out because we get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed. There's too much going on. I back off. That's the mindfulness practice. The next practice is healing relationship. So whether I have mood disorder, back pain, cardio, cancer, gut, there's a story there. Our biology reflects our biography. So many of us are we got big story about how we didn't get what we needed in life. I mean, really, and it's quite shocking. But the healing relationship is loving presence, relating well to ourselves, relating well to our families, relating, just in that healing relationship mode and seeking out people who nourish us. Because it's pretty obvious people drain us, people are neutral, or people support us and we support them. And when we're with people, there's an electricity, there's an energetic shift, there's an up leveling of the healing response when we're with people we love, we trust, and we're learning with. Learning with, that's a big part of the process. Can't do it alone. I mean, we try, we do what we can alone, but when we're in this kind of engaged process, it's a healing relationship, and we're not identified with yesterday's news. The fifth wellness practice is soulful service. It gets us out of ourselves. It turns our attention towards our friends, our neighbors, people less fortunate than us. What can we share? What can we give? Can we share a meal? Can we share a thought? Can we actually befriend and accompany people? And as we do that, it elevates the conversation, it elevates our energy, and it alters genetic expression. Ooh, genetic expression. You want to know 5 things that drive illness? And if you're taking notes out there, this is noteworthy. I've studied this for 50 years. Number 1 is stress. What a concept, right? Number 2 is toxicity. There's a lot of that going on. Number 3 is trauma. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of trauma, personal, social, ecological. Number 4 is malnutrition. I'm a nutritionist. People don't eat well. People have drained all their reserves. People are just not getting what they need because the food system has been weakened. The 5th is addictive coping. Very interesting. Well, I'm unhappy. What will I do? Well, I'll get ice cream. I'm unhappy. What I'll do? I'll go on social media. All these things we do to cope are not helping with the lead of illness and the sadness and the sorrow. It's not health building. It's distracting. So there's 101 ways to distract, and there's one way to pray, or to meditate, or to reach out. Those kinds of things. Now, those 5 health hazards contribute to every illness there is. Again, and you can look at it historically and how it didn't work, all that. We've all gone through a lot. But stress, and each of these can be addressed and can be mitigated. Maybe not perfectly, but pretty well. Stress, toxins, trauma, malnutrition, and addictive coping. They then pull the trigger on gene expression. Oh, my mother, my father, my uncle had cancer. Oh, my gut, my mutations, because now with modern science, we can really understand some of the genetic makeups. And for pharmaceutical companies, they can do what they can do to try to alter that. But genetics are modified, it's called epigenetics. when we're having a good moment, when we're eating a good meal, when we're in a relaxed state. The stress with the trauma and the rest of it triggers the vagus nerve to create fight or flight. When we're in fight or flight, healing is stopped. It's survival. When we're in the consciousness of survival, it's all we can do to survive. It's understood.
Okay.
If we can kind of mitigate that and go, it isn't great, but it isn't that bad. It's not yesterday's problem today. It's my remembrance of yesterday's problem today. I'm going to have to let that go or neutralize that with something more loving, more kind, more positive. So this positive affirmation visualization can be very powerful. So the other thing is we live in this universe of beings. Right now there's about 9 billion beings. To me, it's the macrobiome. The latest, greatest health thing is the microbiome. There's 10 to the 14 million bacteria in each of our bodies, way more than there are cells. These bacteria, 90 to 95%, are health promoting, are protective, are digestive, are friendly. They get along. Maybe 5 to 10% or a couple of them that have really gotten strong and taken over, who've declared war. They're causing a lot of disturbance and disruption. So on the universal scene, on the macrobiome, we need more friendly bacteria. Each of us can be a friendly bacteria today. Each of us can grow friendship and love and healing and digestion, assimilation and growth and repair by being part of the macrocosm of goodness that exists. Create diversity, create inclusion, create symphonies within ourselves so we're not narrow, we're not small. When we're sick, we're small. When we're sick, we're weak. When we're sick, we're alone. When we're sick, we're lost. We go, holy cow, God help me. Well, that's not a bad call. And then it comes into the idea of, well, what is spirit? What is source? So the Baha'is have good writings on health and healing. And I've given handouts to everyone. I hope you can look at it online, or if you didn't get it, email me. I'll send it to you again. There's some notes. I'm not going to read them. But the key on the Baha'i notes are as such. Physical illness, treat with physical medicine. We said that. Mental illness, treat with spiritual medicine. It's interesting. Is therapy spiritual medicine? Could be. Could be. I mean, all this can be integrated. Integrative is using all sorts of tools. And just a loving, kind relationship is spiritual. But neurological problems, of which are really getting worse, worse, worse. People are getting more agitated, more upset, and more anxious. We need to bring spiritual remedies. What would be specific application of a spiritual remedy for someone who is really scared? Meditation. Any particular kind, or just sit quietly and watch your mind go crazy? Because it's hard to sit quietly when your mind's really turning up. I mean, it just is. Being in some kind of spiritual community. Oh, I like that. That's the key to this healing relationship, is listening, being heard, being seen. The other thing that's really a key here, a pivot, a takeaway, a pearl. If someone is stuck in panic, in trauma, in nervous disorder, they lack faith. That's all. We're the Baha'i faith. That's pretty good. We have faith in the teachings of Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah had faith in all the teachings that came before. Baha'u'llah didn't say, no, don't pay any attention to earlier sacred teachings, they're all good. Okay, I'm just uploading it. I'm version 9.0. Here's some more information. Study it, apply it, share it. It's for everyone. The teachings of Spirit are for everyone. Buddhist teachings are for everyone. Christian teachings are for everyone. Baha'i teachings are for everyone. So the faith principle is something people have to try on. I believe in a higher power. People with addictive disorders who are doing 12-step, they have community, they have fellowship, they have practice. They go, I got problems. I believe in higher power. Higher power is the creator, the source, the spirit, the infinite, call it what you will. So working that program, having an operating system, it brings wellness programs into daily life, hopefully with others. And there's spiritual study. And there's reflection. And there's discussion. That's the alchemy of turning illness to wellness. And the Baha'i teachings are open to all. They're very powerful. They're upgraded all the time. We have current plans. It's not just what Baha'u'llah said 175 years ago. There's like evolving knowledge that's very, very clean with the highest of the highest integrity. That's the problem in the marketplace. The integrity is mediocre or bad. I mean, this book, Nourishing Wisdom, I bring in information from Taoism. That's my first study. Follow the Tao. Live naturally, live simply. Then I bring in information from Thich Nhat Hanh. I like plant medicine because plants reflect spirit. Then in this book, my functional medicine teacher, Jeffrey Bland, said, here's a platform for making integrative medicine available for all people, because we've got a problem with supply and demand. So there's 100 articles here, and then there's all the scientific information. Half of it in this book is nutrition, on how nutrition can help reverse and prevent illness. So it's a beautiful book, and it also has incredible photography by my creative director.
Everybody has these different things that come up in their lives, and people have different ways of dealing with crisis and that kind of thing. But one of the things that I have discovered in the last couple of years is the power of the integration of the heart and the mind, taking time aside and using the power of thought and the power of feeling, helping to integrate them. Sometimes we look at the heart and the mind and we think that they're different. We even that there's a false dichotomy that we have where the mind figures things out and the heart feels things. But that's not exactly how it works. They actually work together. They're actually part of one unit. The heart has sensibility and feelings and can know. Like you just know sometimes that something is true, right? And then your mind is the synthesis of thought. And thought is a reality. In the Baha'i teachings, it talks about how thoughts are our reality, that our soul actually has a faculty, a rational faculty, our soul, not just our mind. So we're not just, this thing up here, and we're not just this thing here. When we work together, we actually become clear about what it is that we can do. We analyze, we feel, we know, and then it comes to us, and then we really do know what the direction is. In the Baha'i writings, a man named Shoghi Effendi gave us 5 steps for problem solving through prayer. So the first step is to pray and meditate about the problem that you have. And that can also be called visualization. I'm trying to visualize health and visualize the, the that my body is becoming healthier. I have this mantra, which is I am whole, I am healthy, I'm alive, I'm blessed, I'm rid of disease, and I meditate on that, right? But I don't hold on to the problem. I am recognizing it. So the first thing is to recognize the problem or recognize the direction that you want to go in. And you may have obstacles that you are having to try to deal with these problems, right? And you don't know how they're going to be resolved. It could be financial, or it could be, it could be a number of different relationships, a number of different things. But you know that it's something that you have to deal with, and you don't know how. You pray and you meditate. You can use your own prayer from your own heart. You can use the prayer of the manifestations, Baha'u'llah, Christ, the Buddha, the Hindu prayers, whatever the prayer is. You want to get into the state where you've let go of the past, you've let go of the future, and in your thinking and in your mind, you're letting go of it. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Past, I'm going to just push that back. I'm just going to be here now. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to pray. I'm going to start to feel a spiritual connection with that infinite creative power that some people call it God, some people call it creator, some people call it, there's all kinds of names, but it is basically the place where we connect with our source. And when we do that, then we remain in a state of contemplation for a few minutes. So you just pray and you stay in this state. You want to be in a certain kind of state that is freed up from your day to day. Then the second step is you arrive at a decision. So that may be something that comes to you, that you didn't, may surprise you, or it may be something that becomes obvious, or it may be something that you still are contemplating, but you've made a decision to go further and try to see if you can get more information or something like that, right? So you arrive at a decision for your financial security or your health or whatever it is. And then you hold that. You know that, okay, this is the decision that I want to do. And this decision is usually born during the contemplation, which is where you are meditating. And it may seem almost impossible to accomplish. But if you can see clearly, then you can and hold that, see that as your future. Then the power that we have as people, and the creator's ability to bring us through to that, because we've been given this direction, right, in some way or another. If we can hold on to that, then many of the things that are blocking it fall away. And it may almost seem impossible, but if it seems to be an answer to a prayer or a way of solving the problem, immediately take the next step. Like, don't wait. Like, don't say I'll do it tomorrow. The third step is having the determination to carry it out, right? Many fail here. The decision butting into determination is blighted and instead becomes a wish or a vague longing. When determination is born, immediately take the next step, which is have faith. And what is faith? Faith is the assurance of something that is an assurance, right? It's a quality of heart. Faith is. You're lit. You feel connected. You feel connected, and you feel like, yes, it's a yes thing. It's not a no thing. I mean, sometimes it can be a no thing, but most of the time it's yes. have faith and confidence that the power will flow through you. The right way will appear, the door will open. The right thought, the right message, the right principle, or the right book will be given to you. So have faith that, okay, and you don't even need to like overthink it or try to make it happen. Oh, I'm going to make this happen. No, you're not. You're going to stay in that place of knowing and of vision. Yes, I know that that's there. And you're going to move forward, but you're not going to try to make it yourself. Unless that is part of it. Like, yes, I really do have to go exercise, and you really do have to do it. As you rise, you have confidence that the right thing will come to you, to your need, because you have a need. Then as you rise from prayer, take at once the fifth step. And the fifth step is act as if it's been answered. Okay. Because God loves us. The Creator loves us. We are loved. And that's one thing that maybe we don't always recognize, but we are loved and we are helped. And for some reason, we're in this big treasure hunt and we're hunting the treasures of the Spirit and we're being helped. So we have to know that it is going to be answered. Act as if it's all been answered, and then act with tireless, ceaseless energy. So whatever you have to do, and as you act, you yourself will become a magnet and will attract more power to your being. And until you become an unobstructed channel, the divine power flowing through you. Unobstructed channel, the divine power flowing to you. Now that is very, very powerful, because what he's basically saying is we have all these problems and then we're getting all these solutions, we're praying but then when it really all comes together, then we witness the divine power inside of us, outside of us. We witness that and we learn what our own powers are. And that is really a blessed and beautiful thing. And the bigger the problem, the more serious you have to get about this kind of process, right? If you have a little problem, yeah, you can deal with it. You have a big problem, yeah, get down, do it right now, act, do, find, yes, power of yes. Many pray but do not remain in the last half of the first step. Some meditate, arrive at a decision, but fail to hold it. We can all do this, right? Few have the determination to carry the decision, and fewer have the confidence that the right thing will become in their needs. But how many remember to act as though it's all been answered? All been answered. How true are these words? Greater than the prayer is the spirit in which it's uttered, and greater than the way is uttered the spirit which is carried out. So that is deep, right? And to meditate on that that's deep. That takes some time to really understand, because there's all these different layers and levels. Close your eyes and just feel the seat beneath you. Just feel it, get comfortable. Notice where you feel comfortable and where you don't. Adjust yourself. Now, take a deep breath, and as you're breathing in, breathe in a color. And breathe out through your mouth, breathe out a white light. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice the area of your heart, which is the area not just of your heart, but of your feeling. Notice that. And as you're breathing, notice how your heart feels. Like I can feel my heart beating. And as you're breathing in, breathe in a golden white light. And as you breathe out any tension or worry that you have. Breathe in a golden white light. Breathe out. And now, as you breathe in again, let it expand. Let it expand so that it fills your whole chest and your whole body. Start to feel it moving and circulating through your whole body. And now, as you breathe in, feel your mind and your heart connected. Feel that golden feeling start to connect your mind and your heart together. Feel how it's energizing your mind and relaxing your mind. Feel how every little cell is becoming coordinated and healthy. Feel how all of your body is becoming you altogether. And now say to yourself, I am, say it to yourself, I am whole. I am healthy. I am full of life. I have everything that I need. And now you can come back to the room, the Zoom room. You can take a deep breath, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. You can open your heart and your mind. You can feel your feet on the floor. You can feel that you're here. And probably many of you have already done this kind of meditation, but you can take it much more deeply through personalizing it and giving it your own personal flavor. You can listen to music. You can do it even when you're walking. Just to know that this is a direction that can really help you access your own internal wisdom and access your connection with God, with Source. Refresh and gladden my spirit. Purify my heart. Illumine my powers. I lay all my affairs in thy hand. Thou art my guide and my refuge. O God, I will no longer be sorrowful and grieved. I will be a happy and joyful being. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things of life. For thou art more of a friend to me than I am to myself. I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord.
Alchemy doesn't happen just randomly. It happens with focus, direction, intensification, breaking through, breaking down, breaking through, and then strengthening our energy. We have to pull in stronger energy from the natural world, the spiritual world, bring that forward, have a focus, don't get distracted, see it through, and invite others to join you. Because it's not a solo process. Illness is about I, wellness is about we. My little mantra is illness is I lack love. And all of us could say that. If we say it, it's true. Wellness is we love life. If you say it, it's true. So having a wellness partner, a prayer partner, a community that you engage with frequently, and then really grounding in spiritual source practice. It can be walking in nature. For some people, that's where it is. Good, do it. Because it clears away a lot of the human mischief, puts you back in that energetic zone, and then it's not later. It's as much as we can bring forth right here, right now, in our personal strength of going from illness to wellness. And then from that, we go to wholeness. And wholeness is I can carry it all. I can carry the world suffering. I can carry the pain. I can carry the problem. But I have a stronger integration, understanding, and direction. So I'm not just roadkill. Thank you, Baha'i Center, San Francisco, and dear friends.